Dear students, today I will send you the first part of the poem, Daffodils. That is the introduction to the poem Daffodils. I will send a very short studio because the long studio cannot reach you because I am not a professional YouTuber. I am a teacher and I want to satisfy the students during this pandemic. Only because of that I have opened a channel so that I can teach remaining in my own chamber. I am not a professional and commercial YouTuber. Dear students, I will give you the introduction part, the introductory part, what you may say, and the introduction to the poem Daffodils. First of all, you have to know that this poem Daffodils has already been written by William Wordsworth in 1807, and he has appeared in the literary galaxy of England in the early part of the 19th century, which begins from 1798 and ends in 1848, the 50 years. And this is the romantic revivalism because the romance of 16th century has been revived, and this is a revision. The 19th century romantic period is a revision only. So I don't want to kill your time, to spoil your time by telling nonsense. But what I should say, that must benefit you. It must be befitting. So first of all, you have to write that Daffodils is a very powerful poem, a nature poem, a romantic poem, a lyrical poem, a philosophical poem, a realistic poem. Everything is there. Why did I tell so? Because it is a realistic poem, because Wordsworth of the realism is different from others' realism. His romanticism and realism have been categorized. And it is a philosophical poem because he has dealt with the philosophy. It is a nature poem because he has given the beauty of the flowers, daffodils. And this is also a romantic poem. That means he has already written this poem in order to suit his mind, or in order to suit the mind of the readers, the light masses. So you may stick to one category, either romantic poem or nature poem or realistic poem, philosophical poem, even if the spiritual poem. And you mark, students, that while William Wordsworth was coming back from his friend's house with his sister Dorothy, he saw a large number of golden daffodils fluttering and dancing, shining beside the lake and beneath the tree. And the poet was attracted towards the beauty of the flower. The poet was not mesmerized, or the poet was not charmed, rather he was attracted towards the natural beauty what the daffodils have already presented. And dear students, this is the background of the poem, that coming closer to daffodils. He has written in which way daffodils are tossing their heads, they are also fluttering, dancing, and doing many of the things like human beings. And they look like the stars on the Milky Way, and they are compared to the stars on the Milky Way, and They have surpassed the beauty of the waves. They have surpassed the beauty of the waves, marked just in the lake, and all sorts of things are there. The three stanzas, the first three stanzas have already come spontaneously, and the last stanza has been recollected in tranquility. So that is why the poem is based on a poetic theory. The poem is based on a poetic theory. That theory is his own. That is his own theory. Poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. And that is the very good philosophy. That is the very good philosophical philosophy, or that is the poetic theory that William Wordsworth has given. So this particular poem, Daffodils, has been based on this theory, and that is why I tell you that the three stanzas, first three stanzas have come spontaneously, and the last stanza has been recollected in tranquility. As far as philosophy, I want to say. And secondly, I should say that Wordsworth in Daffodils has seen the presence of divinity. He has marked a divine power. A divine power is present there. That is why he has already given, or he has already been called as a pantheist, marked by his pantheistic philosophy. And some of the critics have already pointed out that in Daffodils, Wordsworth has not given his own personal view, though that is personal, but that is accepted as impersonal. Though that is particular, it has been accepted as general. Though that is very particular, it is accepted as universal. So his philosophy is accepted, his idea is accepted, his feeling is accepted, and that is not a subjective poem, rather that is an objective poem, impersonal poem, which has been universalized. Everybody accepts, because nature has something to do with our life. Nature will give you something. It has the duty to lift our spirit and morale. It has the duty to lift our spirit and morale. In nature, William Wordsworth has seen the power of divinity, the power of divine, and also the omnipotent. And nature is truth, nature is beautiful, nature is God. Remark. Nature is truth, nature is beautiful, nature is God. So that is why he has given a coordination, a sweet coordination, a sweet blending, a sweet juxtaposition, a sweet coordination between God and the human beings, nature and the human beings. So that is a mystic link, that is a mystic bond, between human beings and also the nature. And coming closer to the Daffodils, William Wordsworth has already narrated the poem, depicted the poem, and the first stanza, I have already taught you the first stanza of the poem. Then I will teach you the second stanza. That will carry another part. That will be another part. And the second part has already gone. This is the first part. I am sending you the first part, introductory part, and the second part has already gone. And I will keep myself ready. I will get myself ready to prepare the last part of the poem. Thank you all. Thank you all.